What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. It's back to school time. All the kids got their book bags, getting ready, putting the best foot forward, got their new kicks, got book bag, got fresh duds, putting that best foot forward, getting the school year started. And I remember when I was going to school and how that first day of school you showed out, and just you were so excited. You had all your pencils and all your stuff in your book bag. You was prepared, and you were just so excited. Every year, all the way up to about my junior year, then I didn't give a shit anymore. It was just like going back to prison or something, But why do you lose that? Where does that mentality to put your best foot forward, take the book bags and the crapper keepers and the new kicks out of the equation? Where do you lose that excitement? You get to see your friends, get to see who your teachers are. Why do you lose that? And the thing is, it only gets worse the older you get. Everybody has blah times and just, this again. Well, school's school. It really doesn't change. But you get excited about that. Got excited about that. So why do you lose that? And you start thinking about it. Is it that new book bag that gives you that little boost of whatever? And it kind of makes you think about life a little bit, and I love, I don't have any kids of my own. So watching all the kids in my Facebook and Instagram feeds and now TikTok, the kids going back to school and whatnot. And you see that excitement. That's the thing you got to remember. You got to do that every day. And some days, it's just whatever. Like today, this is probably not the best example of this. This is car wash day for me. Running back and forth, writing checks and washing cars. That's what I'm doing today. It reminds me when I worked at the Ford dealership. And this is a good example of this. It's actually a funny story. It's very factual. So, a little background. To tell you this story, I got to stop and tell you another one. So my mother worked for a store called Burlington Bag and Baggage when I was growing up. And they sold high-end luggage. I think that's where I fell in love with Halliburton briefcases, because my mother sold them back in the day. And J.R. Ewing had one. I just had to have one. Beside them was a suit store called S&K Menswear. And they sold suits. They were big for a long time. I think they're out of business now. But anyway. And I remember going over there and just killing time when I was hanging out with Mom at her store. And they had this article hanging up. And keep in mind, I was, 10 years old. And it said how business casual has killed work ethic. And you got to think about it, this time that really started getting really popular. Now understand also they're selling suits, so that's why they were against it. But this was a true article, and it was out of USA Today or something, some big magazine. But I remember reading it, and it said that, jobs that typically people wore ties to, now they're wearing golf shirts with, their business logo on there. And there's nothing wrong with a golf shirt with a business logo on it, but I'm just saying. And khakis and, kind of downplaying it, made it too relaxed. And then it got to the point where instead of, pressing, your shirt, I'll just get it out of the dryer. I'll shake it out. Those wrinkles will fall out. It'll be all right. And those khakis, you can't see that coffee stain. And then next thing you know, your whole damn crew looks like a bunch of slobs. You got to understand what you're doing. If you're working fast food, no, it doesn't really matter, I guess. But it maybe does it, taking a little pride in your appearance. And you got to understand, when I went to work at the Ford place, I had never worked in a new car dealership in my life. And I always was trying to stay dressed nice, or whatever. But I'm thinking working in a dealership, I'm thinking about all the dealerships that I've been in, with my family and buying cars and all that stuff. I don't want to look like the dude with, a coffee stain running down his shirt. I want to be that guy like he's, closing deals, and And I might have took it a little far, but I remember coming into my first day at the Ford place. And then keep in mind, a sales job at a dealership is about as entry level as it gets. But you can do that same job, and if you're really good at it, you can make a lot of money. You know, basically they throw you to the wolves, and if you make it, that's great, and if not, we'll see you. That's the funny thing about sales in general, but especially car sales, new car sales. You hit the ground running. My first day, and all they said is, well, you can order these golf shirts through the company store. I literally had on my funeral Sunday attire. So either we were preaching or we were putting somebody in the ground. This is what I wear. And, well, you've all seen Best Sales Day Ever on VinWiki. Did that have something to do with it? Maybe if I walked out with a golf shirt that I just pulled out of the dryer, handed him a business card with my name written in on it, probably wouldn't thought I was as really good at my job as I was. Or you had a man that walked out dressed like he's about to preach a sermon. This guy's got his shit figured out. I'll buy some cars from this man. You know, that was the big thing. And, you know, they told me, like, Rob, you don't have to dress up so much. I don't have to, but I like to. You know, something that I preach to people all the time about new car sales. I get so many of you guys that want to get into new car sales and you want to get into dealership life. And it's an interesting one. And it's not for the faint of heart. And it's a lot of fun. And, you know, it's either going to go one or two ways. You're going to love it or you're going to hate it. You got to understand, you know, cars are at an all-time high right now. I mean, just insane what cars are now. Just to give you a perfect example, I bought my first house in 2001 for $93,000 and it was brand new. I looked at an Escalade yesterday that wasn't loaded out, but a new one. And it was $109,000 for a Tahoe with Cadillac emblems on it. I'm a 6-duct truck guy. I love them. But you're selling something that costs $100,000. And there's still houses that are less than $100,000 out there, properties. Whenever you do any kind of research, 98% of the world, the largest investment you'll ever make is in your home. And the second largest investment you'll ever make is buying a new car. Do you want to make the second largest investment? Do you want to give your social and your sensitive information to a guy that literally looked like he just rolled out of bed with a 2-day beard and that? Or do you want to deal with someone that looks like he's deserving of taking your information? I mean, okay, let's just take it one step further. How about if your doctor dressed like that? Instead of wearing scrubs and a stethoscope, he's wearing a t-shirt and a pair of jeans. You ever seen a doctor on his day off? Do you want that guy looking at you? No, you need, and that's the thing. I mean, he may be a good doctor, he may be a bad doctor, but I feel better, you know, like, you know, if he's dressed like a doctor, you know, stethoscope, scrub top, prescription pad, you know, these things. You know, one of those little things they look in your ears with. You know, that's the thing though, but that doctor dresses for the job he has. I tell people this in sales all the time. You got to think every person you meet, every new client you meet, every person you hand a business card to, you're making an impression. You got to put that best foot forward. And you can't judge a book by the cover. And I understand that. But unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. That first impression they get goes a long way. When someone sees that someone took a little pride in their appearance, it took a little pride in what they did. I'm not saying you need to look, you walked off the cover of GQ, but just a little pride in it. It goes a long way. I have been to dealerships before and dealt with salespeople before that I'm not even 100% sure they bathe that day. You know, I don't want to spend my money. I mean, like, you're just hesitant about it. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, if the deal wasn't right, hell, we'll make it work, but I can look over it. But that first impression, this is the thing I think about. It's not so much like that. You got to think about yourself. When you're in sales, keep in mind dealership sales is commission, straight commission. So if you don't sell, you don't eat. Well, the cheaper that car is, or the less comfortable somebody is dealing with you, obviously the only way they're going to deal with you is unless they get a super deal. Well, the cheaper that car is, the less money you make. Dress for success. Do you want to be that sloppy salesman that just shows up and, he gets his few little deals and he walks out? Or do you want to be that guy up on the board? Do you want to be the guy with the plaques on the walls? I promise you, he's probably not going to be the one in the golf shirt. Guys, we'll catch you next time at Rabbit's Used Cars. Is this thing on?
Yes, it is.
Hey,
Alrighty, it's on you.
what's going on, guys? A sales job. A sales job at a dealership is about as entry level as it gets. But it's kind of a weird job because it's entry level, but you can do that same job. It's not like you need to be trained to do any of this stuff. And all they say is, well, you can order these golf shirts through the company store. No. Dress to kill.